So just a quick topic. A lot of guys talk about combat readiness and training and all this stuff and being combative, and they miss minor things in your training. For example, when you get gassed, do you leave your mouth open and do you breathe through your mouth, or do you breathe through your nose? Do you continue to try to work when you don't have the fuel, the oxygen to work? Because that's a huge component. You open your mouth and you get blasted, and you're going to get knocked out. You're going to have teeth busted. Keeping your teeth closed is a huge thing. Do you spin? One of the drills we use, I've just started introducing it because, again, I'm always progressing and learning, and one of the things I've just started introducing is spinning around. You spin and spin with your eyes closed, and then open up and get target acquisition and start blasting away, or defending. And then also spinning and defending. It's just covering up, making sure you are guarding yourself, protecting yourself, even when you're disoriented. Those are things that are pretty big components. Another one you could do, you'd have to be careful, of course. You don't want to use this as a tool, but putting like a pillowcase over your head, or some sort of cover over your eyes, so you can't really see what's happening, just so you have to defend yourself. But anyway, practicing things that are disorienting. People say, well, why would you put a pillowcase over your head? I mean, that makes no sense. Well, you're really limiting vision, but if you imagine your t-shirt getting pulled over your face, it's very similar, and it's going to wrap up your arms, which is even more of an issue. So, there are ways to upgrade your training to become more combatively realistic without always adding and all that stuff, And I like using foam tools for certain components, but there's a bit of value in using wood or aluminum or whatever, because the payback is real. Using a stick. And so when we train, I just did a seminar in June, I think, in down in Florida, and had bruises for 2 weeks from getting people to attack me with a wood knife or a stick, and getting them to feel comfortable with hitting me, knowing that I wasn't going to die, so that they would feel like they could really come at me. That's what it takes sometimes. You have to sacrifice a little bit to get people to commit, and you can't be afraid to do that. So letting somebody hit you in the face a little bit, they don't have to knock you out. You don't have to be blasted, but you have to get them comfortable enough to follow through. Because of social norms, you have to break that mold. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself, particularly as a teacher. So these are things that I think about, keeping your eyes open as much as possible. So, some of the drills we do, like the slipping drill and stuff, these are drills where I have a tendency to blink when I think a punch is going to hit me in the face. And so, specifically training to try to keep my eyes open so I can be oriented appropriately. And sometimes what I've learned in that process is it has as much to do with where I'm looking when the opponent is striking. If I'm looking at his fist come at me, the tendency is for me to move slower. And the reason is because it takes a while for your brain to process what it's actually seeing. Whereas if I'm looking at their elbows or their chest, I don't worry about their fist, and I tend not to blink so much because I'm in a position where I'm using my peripheral vision to a certain extent, and it processes movement quicker because it's more sideways. Where if an attack is coming straight at your face, it's often difficult to have a understanding of the depth of the strike, and so that's a delay in processing. And so these are little things that you can do, to really change the game a little bit. And it doesn't always take whole new paradigms. Sometimes it just means, holding out with what you have and processing it differently, working through things that, are a consideration. I'm telling you what, just keeping your damn mouth closed when you're tired and exhausted and your heart is racing and you can't get enough breath, that is like increasing your cardio by minutes and minutes when you've already quit running, for example. I do a lot of heavy bag training, and when I get exhausted, I try to work specifically on keeping my mouth closed for longer and longer times, because I know that it's building my cardio, and it's also saving my jaw, saving my teeth, and hopefully saving my life. So these are little things that you can do along the way. Take it for what it is. It's just a quickie note, but take care and be safe.